Hey coach, have you ever sit down in front of your computer and staring at a blank screen and wondering what should I talk about on my next Instagram post, or maybe it's on your LinkedIn profile? What should I create? But the thing is, ironically, you have tons of idea and you can never have enough to say about your coaching business, about coaching itself. You're so passionate and you can probably write the whole entire book, which I know some of you probably already have. You've written out a whole entire book, but you're struggling to create that social media content. Well, if that is you, buckle up because today I'm going to give you the 5 tools to turn your content brain fog into a full-blown clarity. These are the tools that I use personally and along with my clients to help them to create content faster, easier, and more organized without having to sit there and wondering, what should I talk about next on my Instagram post? If that is you, let's get right into it. I was actually just on a call with another coach, and this is something that she shared. She said that she have no problem creating long form content, meaning she has tons of idea and she can probably write a blog post every single day. However, every time she sit down and wanting to create something for Instagram, she somehow just doesn't have that structure and doesn't have that consistency in doing so. So today I'm going to talk about the 5 tools that help me to stay organized, coming up with idea, and help me to stay connected with my audience so that I don't have to sit down and worry about what should I post next on my Instagram. So tool number 1, it is no surprise ChatGPT is on the top of my list. Heck yeah, I use ChatGPT to help me to brainstorm this episode in particular. This tool is like your personal brainstorm best friend in town. Minus the group text distraction. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get these group messages from my mastermind students and it is just a lot. Here are the 3 common ways that I use ChatGPT to help me to create content. Number 1 is I ask ChatGPT to repurpose a lot of my long form content, like video like this, or a podcast episode, or in an article that I have written in the past that still fit to the strategies that we're using today. That's the first reason why I use ChatGPT, is to help me to repurpose some of these long form content so that I can use them again and sprinkle through my social media content. The second way that I use ChatGPT is I use it as a brainstorm buddy. For example, you can ask ChatGPT write 5 social media captions for a life coach who's helping women to stop people pleasing. And ChatGPT is going to get busy and do the work, and now you have ideas to work with. And lastly is how you train ChatGPT to mimic your own voice by giving it some prompts to rewrite and incorporate something more like a real human voice would say. So if you're someone who's hating your I help statement, that's one of the places I would go to and just pop your I help statement into ChatGPT and just ask ChatGPT, hey, how would you say this in a more humanly way? And see what ChatGPT will give you. The second tool I use in my content creation is I use something called AnswerThePublic. And this one is for my overthinkers who actually want to create content that people would want to read and care about. So the way that you use AnswerThePublic is you go into the website and you type in a keyword like confidence or coaching or setting boundary, and it's going to show you some of the real people who are Googling at 2 a.m. in the morning and in their pajama pants asking these typical questions. So for example, you might see things like, how do I stop caring what people think? Or what is the difference between coaching and therapy? Or maybe it could be, how do I find the right life coach for me? And guess what? These are next content ideas and prompts for you to start creating on your social media posts because there are people looking for them. So I oftentimes, when I'm running out of ideas of what to write, what to create, and how to create things, I go to Answer the Public, type in the keyword, what I'm searching for, and use them as post ideas. It could be reels, it could be podcast episode, carousel, easy peasy. Tool number 3 is I use Notion to help me to organize all these ideas I have in content creation. You may have tons of ideas floating around in your notes, and one of the places that I've been starting to incorporate more is my Apple Notes. But I realized that I am someone who likes to see the structure of what it looks like throughout the month, throughout the week, and so I have a better way of scheduling them in my content schedule. So the way that the Apple Note is set up is very confusing to me, and even though I prompt ideas in there, but I don't necessarily use it to organize my content. So in order to organize content, I personally use a project management tool like Notion, which is my favorite. I use it for my content calendar. I have a running list of all the idea that I would like to touch on in the future, and it is also my caption bank. So anytime I ask ChatGPT to brainstorm my caption, I will pop that into my Notion and start editing my caption inside Notion. And this way, if I want to repurpose the content, I can simply go to the Notion template and pull up that particular post or particular idea, and I can reuse it again in the future. Now, because AI is everywhere, Notion also has a built-in AI function that will allow you to brainstorm right inside the app itself. Tool number 4 is Trello. Now, if you're someone who's a visual person and you love to drag stickered posts around in your house or on your wall, then you probably would appreciate Trello a lot more than compared to Notion. I like to think of Notion as a bullet journal's notebook where it's a blank canvas and you get to create however and whatever you want to create in the way that you set up your Notion template. Now with Trello, it's a little more like a printed calendar where it comes in a pre-built structure for you. So if you're someone who likes the sticker and post-it to post on your wall, and you like to see a Kanban board, which is a horizontal view of what Trello is set up for, then you might appreciate Trello a lot more. You can designate each column inside the Trello Kanban board as idea, scheduled, or posted, or maybe it's drafted. So you have a lot of way to work through a structure and organizing your content in the way that feels more guided versus in the Notion, it's more of a free flow format and you get to choose and design your own. I personally have used both Trello and Notion, and like I said, my brain just works a lot better on Notion, and therefore I'm going to lean more towards Notion rather than Trello. I did use Trello at one point for a very long time until the dashboard got super busy and I got too much content and it just gave me a lot of headache. So I have migrated from Trello to Notion. Trello is a great place to start if you appreciate something that's more structured, that doesn't require you to have a lot of setup. Trello would be a great option to go. Last but not least, the last tool that I use very often in my content planning and creation is something called CoSchedule Headline Analyzer. Not a whole lot of people or coaches know about this one because CoSchedule, it's just not one of the very popular scheduling apps that many coaches use. However, the CoSchedule has this cool headline analyzer. What it does, it analyzes all your headlines or your subject line or your title. Once you pop your title, or maybe it's the first line hook that you want to include in your caption, in your post, it's going to give you a score to analyze it so that you can have a better sense and better assessment whether or not this hook is going to lead into someone stop and actually read the post. It's a perfect tool if you want to test out your Instagram hook, that first couple of lines that you're putting in there, your email subject line, your video title, or even your website header. That would be a great place to go because it gives you a number score so that you have better assessment of whether or not this is going to capture people's attention. So again, that is CoSchedule's headline analyzer. And for email subject line, I highly suggest that you go and check out subjectline.com. This is a great tool that I came across just not too long ago, and it's been doing amazingly for me. So check out subjectline.com. You might find a lot of good resources on that website. Okay, coach, so that's wrap up. So if you're someone who's sitting down and you have tons of ideas running in your head and you need a way to somehow organize it into a more purposeful and more intentional content so that your audience will lead into clients, then today I talked about the 5 powerful tools that's going to save you a lot of time, sanity, and also keep you stay organized and consistent in your content creation. ChatGPT is great for ideas and repurposing. AnswerThePublic is great for real audience questions. So if you're curious about what your audience is actually asking, go to AnswerThePublic. That's going to give you a lot of information. And Notion is one of my favorite tools to organize all your content creation, your genius, and you can find it in just one single place. Now, Trello is also an alternative to Notion where you can batch, you can plan in a more structured way if you're someone who appreciates a printed calendar versus a blank journal. And last but not least, the CoSchedule headline analyzer that's going to help you to identify which of the hook is going to actually capture your audience attention. Okay, with that said, the thing is, most of you don't have a content problem. What you have is actually a clarity problem. And here's the good news. Clarity is totally fixable, and I got something for you to finally get out of your own head and start taking into action to build that coaching business that you love to wake up to. And so if you want to know exactly who you're helping, what do you help them with, and then coming back to the social and having the clarity, knowing exactly what to post, what to say, and how to turn your audience into your clients, then I want to invite you to come and join me in the 3-day visibility challenge, which we're going to kick off very soon. It is specifically for female coaches who want to get clear on their niche, simplify their message, and starting showing up in the way that actually attract your paying client. During the 3-day visibility challenge, you're going to learn how to nail what you want to be known for. And we're also going to clarify your I help statement without sounding like everybody else or something that you have to make up on the spot and you don't even feel connected to it. And lastly, we're going to talk about how to show up on social and create those content that doesn't just get a like or comment or share. It actually drives the traffic in your business to sell for you. So if you want to stop overthinking about how to attract your coaching clients, struggling with your niche, trying to get visible, there's a link in the description box down below. Let's just do it together because you need clarity, confidence, and a message that works for you, not the other way around. If you found this video to be helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button so this way you don't miss out any of my future video, and I will see you on the next one.